Capitalist Death Parade! Capitalist Death Parade! Capitalist Death Parade! Welcome to the Capitalist Death Parade with your hosts Joy Marie Mann and Josh Radio Hedge, a podcast where we discuss the dystopian hellscape of capitalism that we call home. Hey everybody, it's Josh Radio Hedge here.
And Joy Marie Mann.
How's it going, America? Welcome to the Capitalist Death Parade.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God, what a fucking clusterfuck. We say this like every week, but holy motherfuck.
All right, so can I pick the song this week?
Yes.
Well, after watching that debate last night, I'm assuming that the song playing on repeat in Trump's head is "You About to Lose Your Job." No.
You're fired. Seriously. You're fired.
I'm telling you, it was incredible to watch what went down. I still can't believe that Kamala basically did to Trump what Trump did to Biden and just kept baiting him with dumb stuff. And he just kept stumbling over every single thing. Anyways, I'm jumping ahead.
Thing that, is so bananas about Trump is how everything has to be absolute. Everything has to be grandiose. Like, even if he's telling the truth, he's like, it was the biggest, it was the best, it was the least. He thought I was the best. He said no one had ever done it better. He said he couldn't believe it exceeded expectations. He said it was the most, the worst, the best. I mean, everything has to be so exaggerated, which automatically, even if you're telling the truth, I'm not saying he did, even if you're telling the truth, you look like a fucking liar because of the shit you're saying. He did say a couple things that were accurate, however, and one of them that had me legit like screaming in laughter was when he goes, "Excuse me, I'm talking. Sound familiar?" I was like, oh shit. And I was like jumping up and down, not going to lie. And then when he said that he was investigated for having documents and Biden was not, that is absolutely 100% true, because a lot of people don't remember, but literally a matter of a few weeks after Trump was found with all of those classified documents at Mar-a-Lago, literally in the same month, Biden was found in his home, in his garage, and at his Delaware home as well. But
hey, hold on. They were stored safely next to his Camaro in his garage.
This is true. And boy, could my dad drive a car.
Oh my God.
So, but selective outrage. Nobody ever talked about that, and Trump was absolutely right to bring that up. Also, Trump brought up how Biden was the person running and got X amount of million votes, and then she came in and never got a single vote, and now she's a nominee. He had every right to bring that up, and it was smart to bring that up.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to point out what I thought was the most truthful statement that came out of Trump's mouth in the entire debate. They were talking about, I think some of her, immigration policies at that point. And Trump looked at her and he says, and again, I should have wrote the quote down exactly, so I'm paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of, you might you're doing so many of my policies. Yes. I should send you a MAGA hat.
Yes.
And honest to God, I thought that was the killer line of the night, because it's the truth. Like, Trump's a broken clock, and occasionally he tells the truth, and that was the truth. Her policies are all either at the same point as Trump on the far right or to the right of Trump. All of these policies are to the right of every Republican president in my lifetime, and everybody wants to just ignore it because, well, you don't want Trump to win, do you?
And you know what? She's stupid as hell. Well, for many reasons, but she could have used what he was saying to her advantage, because he's like, she's against fracking. She could have just left it and people would have voted for her because they're stupid and they don't fucking research. But no, she's like, no, I'm not. Or like, she hates Israel. No, I don't. Let me tell you how much I love Israel.
I was so just violently ill watching these two have a dick measuring contest over who's the bigger Zionist. Like,
oh yeah,
how is this real?
That's why last night before the debate, I posted, I'm like, everyone's talking about who's going to win, but I know who's going to lose, and it's Palestine, period, and America. Like, disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And then, of course, she pushed out the same fucking shit that's been debunked 1,010,000 times. The essay of Israelis on October 7th that never fucking happened. And the White House has already walked that back. And I have the article saved on my phone because I share it so fucking much. They have already walked that back. Biden said he saw pictures of it. And then the White House had to come out and say, no, he was mistaken. He didn't see pictures. He read a statement. Excuse me? But the way these people are in the Western media and who live amongst us is once they hear it, it's gospel. It does not matter if it's been, corrected or anything like that. And then she, as a public figure, still pushed it, even though we have documentation, video, photos, everything you could imagine of essay going on left and right in Palestine, and not one fucking mention.
This is one of the things that I heard a lot of Republicans complaining about, and I had to agree, which was why the no fact checking Kamala, because stuff like that right there is an example where they could have fact checked her. They could have been like, but there have been no recorded incidences.
No, they would have never fact checked her on that, though.
Well, but I'm saying, and they could have even then added to it, although there has been recorded, documented evidence of Israeli troops doing this to Palestinian detainees. So, I mean, they could have fact checked her, but they never did. They only fact checked Donald Trump. And as arguments go from the Republicans, I think that's the only good one I've heard. I've heard 1,000 excuses for his shit performance. That's the only one I'll give him credit for because it's true. It is
true, but it's also true that she didn't answer questions.
Yeah, that's true. Neither of them did.
But I mean, we're supposed to be like, Dems are the better people. Dems are the more honest ones. She quite literally just did not answer questions and said, I'm the only one on this stage who, and it's like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. She was so sanctimonious and so fucking annoying. And look, straight up, I can't stand her. I didn't vote for her. I'm not going to vote for her. But who won, so-called? Of course she did, because you know why? Because she's a fucking politician. That's why, because she said everything that people are going to circle jerk over. She fucking knew what to say. She stayed poised. She said, her girl boss shit. And, of course she was going to win. Like, okay, listen to this. So last night, and people will probably have two reactions to this. One will be like, yeah, no shit. I thought that from the beginning. Or one will be like, you're a conspiracy theorist. Okay, so last night, after the debate, I was sitting there and I was like thinking about it. And I'm like, you know what? I almost feel like this was part of the plan that they ran Biden because people knew they weren't going to like his ass. And they had plans to make him drop out from the get. Because if you look at what's happening to Kamala, you think that people would be even half as excited about her running if Biden didn't run first? Not a chance in motherfucking hell. She didn't get any votes in 2020. She was the
not
first
a single delegate in 2020.
So
not one.
It's like, I remember being in Iowa, working my ass off and seeing no Kamala signs, hearing that like every fucking campaign office was closing. Literally, there was only one campaign office left in Iowa, and then it closed, and she dropped. And it was before any caucus even took place, because that's how much people didn't give a fuck about her. So let's be clear, if Biden wasn't running first and people weren't feeling so defeatist about the Dems, and so like they are so fucked, they would not have half this fervor for her.
Yeah. It's wild stuff. It's absolutely wild stuff. I wanted to real quick mention Dr. Jill Stein's reply to the debate last night, which I thought was one of the most poignant I've seen so far. She said, Donald Trump is talking about people eating pets, and Kamala Harris is coming off cool, calm, and genocidal. Debate 2024. And it's like, she's friggin' amazing. But she called it. Because that's the truth. Like, Trump came off like your deranged uncle at Thanksgiving, about to either get thrown out or punch somebody out or get punched out. Or you get the cool, calm, super presidential, pro-genocide, lethal warrior who's did
you notice something in her idiosyncrasies? Watch all her videos and she's like, you know, and does that like thing where she's joking around always. And tonight she didn't have a single moment of that. When she came out and she shook his hand and she's like, Kamala Harris, yeah, bitch, he donated to you. He knows who the fuck you are. Okay. First of all, but she didn't do any of that. She was like, that was on purpose. She wanted people to be like, oh, she's a boss bitch. Here we go. Look at Yes Queen, man. She came out. She's all business. She didn't laugh. She didn't do anything. That was fucking by design.
It was by design.
Laughs.
All of it was by design, but I have to give her credit, because even though I still think that, what she presented was trash, she obviously won because Trump was flailing so hard, and he flailed because she came prepared. She was like properly coached and properly like prepped for this debate, and she set little traps, and not even good ones, obvious giant neon sign traps that say trap this way, please. And Donald Trump just stumbled into every single one head first. It was such a wild thing to watch, such an obvious like debate technique that like anyone else who debates would be like, oh man, that's an elementary move, but not Trump.
Yeah, but
man,
not Biden. Biden couldn't even do that.
I know, he couldn't respond, and he got triggered and fell face first into the traps.
You can goad Trump easier than any fucking person in the entire universe, and he couldn't even do that. Like, he legit could have just said something about his hair or his orange skin, and he would have lost his shit. But he couldn't even do that.
How is it that Kamala was able to get her whole, like, nervous laughter persona under control for the night, but Donald Trump couldn't get his raging ego under control for even 5 seconds? It was embarrassing. Like, I couldn't believe how many times she goaded him. Like the Jill Stein thing I just mentioned. That was probably, I would say, the most viral moment of the night, was when Trump, trying to like defend, or what was he even like? Oh, he was defending his crowd sizes. Then tried to, while defending crowd sizes, pivot to immigration and starts talking about how they're eating dogs and cats. I have to tell you, I have seen 100 memes launched in the last few hours all about eating dogs and cats. Like, this is the viral moment. This is the shit that people are going to be ragging on Trump and sharing these memes for weeks. And he set this up. Like, how is anyone in his circle telling him, hey, you should talk about this? Do you know Trump had Tulsi Gabbard was his debate prep? Where the fuck was Tulsi Gabbard if she was his debate prep? How did they let something like, they're eating your cat get over the finish line?
Well, Well, here's the real and fuck her. She's trash. Yeah. But anyway, how, you know, the real kicker is that I was one of the people who, one of probably millions, who was seeing these memes before the debate, because apparently Trump had said something about cats and dogs and pets at one of his rallies, and memes were going viral with him with cats before the debate. So he was getting called out before it. So why he didn't stay away from it, I don't fucking know, because he was already getting made fun of with cat memes.
I know, but
on Twitter for like an entire 24 hours.
It's just like, who wants to do a presidential debate and have people come away from it thinking, oh my God, it's my racist uncle? Because this, like, saying that immigrants are eating your pets, that's like some 1950s Mickey Rooney in like thick pop bottle glasses and giant chiclet teeth, like, you know, stereotype level racist shit. And I am just like, who in your circle is telling you that this is the way to go? Like,
you know what, though? Not, in fairness, a couple months ago, did Biden not come out and say that his uncle was eaten by Aboriginals?
That 1000% happened, which I think is yet another reason he's no longer in the running.
It's like, oh my God.
See, this is the moment. This is the moment for the Republican Party to earn that same magic bump by ditching Donald Trump and replacing him with literally anyone else. Oh my God.
Here's what's crazy though, you know, and they brought it up last night. You know, something I just honestly, I'm a little focused on other shit, and I forgot about this, but he hasn't even been given a sentence yet, and it's not happening until after the election. So let's say, you know, because it's happening later in November. Well, let's say I don't think he's going to get any prison time. Let's just be real. We've heard for 8 fucking years, oh, he's going to prison. He's going to prison. He's going to prison. And
the walls are closing in, Joy. The walls are closing in.
Yeah. I mean, we've heard it for 8 fucking years every day. And so I don't think he's going to prison. But here's what's interesting. So let's say November, you know, comes the first week. I think he's going to win. I've said that from day one. I still believe it. Let's say he does win. Okay. And then let's say he would get jail time, which, like I said, I don't think will happen. But let's say he did. Then that makes J.D. Vance president.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's fucking great too. But you know, one of the interesting things Trump said last night is he doesn't know. He didn't write Project 2025. And honestly, I kind of believe him.
Well, he's had, 9 years to come up with a healthcare plan, and he couldn't do that. So I'm not surprised at all that he couldn't do that.
Like, I'm not saying you know, it's like literally 800 pages.
Yeah.
And
900 actually.
I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I
don't believe Trump.
Am I going to say he didn't know about it? I don't know. He probably knew about it, but I don't think he wrote it.
Yeah. I don't think Trump's ever even read 900 pages consecutively, so.
Or in total. He pays people to read shit for him.
That sounds nice.
Right?
All right. I just real quick, because we mentioned the dog thing. I mean, I've seen so many memes. The one that grabbed me was a literal quote. This is from Elon Musk on Twitter. He says, apparently people's pet cats are being eaten. And he shares this to 100-some million people. But he believes it. That's the thing. There's no lol at the end. There's no smiley emoji. There's nothing. He's literally a supporter of Trump who is giving him tons of money, tons of support through his site. And he's like, oh, I guess people are eating people's cats. And he's just with it. I mean, the don't lean into this, you morons. Like, just take the L and be like, hey, we got a little confused, but we're good. Don't chase this one. I can't believe they want to lean in. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things that, that really fucking pissed me off is, Kamala, keeps saying things like, I'm going to be taking on billionaires and stuff. And it's like, whenever you take donations from them, well, then guess who endorsed her last night? Tay-Tay, who is a fucking billionaire. So Kamala is all like, hey, I'm going to take on billionaires. And then a minute later, she's like, oh my God, Taylor Swift endorsed me. Oh my God. And it's like, you're fucking hypocrite, dude. And like, let all them fucking sycophants vote for her then. I don't fucking care.
It's 9/11, and I think maybe it was you who shared it, but it's 9/11, and Kamala just posted a tweet about how she has 200 plus Republicans on her side. And it's like, cool.
Yeah, but no, not just 200 plus Republicans, because she has
the shittiest Republicans.
Yeah. Well, she has a group that's literally called Republicans for Kamala, but these are literal, like, over 200 public position holders who are Republicans, like actual in politics, elected, over 200 of them, including Happy 9/11, Bush, and Cheney. And for her to come out as a fucking brag on 9/11 and be like, look, and I mean, she's bragging about this shit. She's got Bush, Kerry, Cheney. She just named everyone. And I'm like, wow, to think this is a brag. And, the thing is, for years, all we've heard about is how Republicans are trash. They're Satan. They're awful. They're everything wrong in the world. And now we're like, oh, these 200 Republicans are so fucking awesome. And why the fuck aren't you questioning why y'all have said for over 20 years that 9/11 was the worst day in our country's history, and Bush and Cheney, Halliburton were fucking the most awful things, and they killed so many innocent people and all this shit, and now all of a sudden they're getting your praise because they're voting for the same fucking person you are? And you think that's good company?
And let us not forget the total of the devastation we're talking about because of our occupation, our invasion and occupation of Iraq and Afghanistan. Over 1 million deaths because of us. Yeah. Over 1 million. I mean, I don't know. It's like the idea that these people are not only not in jail, but instead are being touted as a political, like, hat, a feather in her cap. It's like it's like taking a political endorsement from Charles Manson. Like, don't take it. Like, just be like, thanks, but no thanks. And everybody will be like, well, he still gave her the endorsement, even though she rejected it. Because, goddamn it, some psychopath war criminals, you don't want their blood on your hands, you'd think.
So Jill was on Piers Morgan the other night.
Yeah.
And did you get a chance to see it?
I missed that one.
Oh, man, she fucking killed it. She just kicks ass so bad. She, she made a post how Cheney endorsed Kamala and how it's not a good look. And Piers Morgan legit says to her, what if the KKK endorsed you? What if Putin endorsed you? Like, he literally compared those two people to Cheney. So what the fuck does that say? And she goes, I would decline. I would refuse those endorsements. And, but the fact that he was like, what if Cheney or the KKK or Putin? And it's like, and then he brought up the picture. The picture. The picture.
I saw a clip of that, actually, of that interview, because I remember he brought the stupid picture out. What a jerk.
And you know what? She fucking rocked, and she killed it. because she's like, excuse me, that is because, and she gave the same fucking explanation she's always given. But it was hilarious how he literally compared Cheney to the KKK. And you know what's a real kicker? Putin said he would like Kamala to win.
Yeah. I wonder if Kamala's going to be taking that endorsement as well.
Right? Like, remember when Trump said he wanted Pelosi to win and she gave him a hug? Do you fucking remember that?
Yeah.
They were meeting in a hallway in DC. Yeah, and he goes, you know, Pelosi, you know, Nancy, I really would like you to win again. And she goes, oh, thank you. And they gave each other a hug. I will never fucking forget that.
Yeah.
It's like they don't like you. They're not wanting you to win. They're wanting you to win because you're going to help them.
Because you are their number one like fundraiser off of how awful you are.
Exactly.
Like, they need you in that position to fundraise off of how shit you are. My God.
But you know, the irony that for 8 fucking years, the Dems have used Russian as a pejorative. They have used it as this xenophobic slur. Whatever Russian bot. Oh, Putin. Oh my God, Putin. He likes your girl. So what the fuck does that say about her? Yeah. It's the same shit with Hillary. You know, she was friends with Trump for 30 fucking years. And it's like, oh, okay, so 2 things happened. Number 1, he was always this racist piece of shit and she was cool with it. Or number 2, he changed that way over fucking night. Which is more feasible?
I mean, my God, we already know. We know that he funded tons of Democrats for most, like he was a registered Democrat for a huge. I don't know. I'm just amazed when you and let's also not forget that Trump and his family and Hillary Clinton and her family go way back. Like they're invited to each other's like family events. They've gone on vacation together. Like, in my opinion, you were talking about earlier how you felt like, you know, this is all staged. I feel like Trump is the heel, like a WWE wrestling match, and he's throwing it because maybe that's what they've pre-staged, because it doesn't make sense. None of his style is working here.
Do you remember people said that in 2016? Oh, he must be trying to lose. And his face when he won didn't look excited. And he looked confused and almost mad. And he's trying to lose. Yeah, well.
Yeah. No. Well, I don't know. I mean, it feels like he's trying to lose when you see him.
It feels like Kamala's trying to fucking lose. All she has to do is say she'll do an arms embargo, but she can't even fucking do that.
You know, it's weird. Part of me wanted Trump to come through tonight and actually bring a hardcore debate, because what I ultimately wanted was for things to get so tight that Kamala had no choice but to distance herself from Israel. And honestly, I couldn't believe that Trump failed this hard. Can I play for you? I got a clip, and I only want to play a few seconds of it, but it was his answer about his plan for a replacement for Obamacare. The debate moderator asked him what his plan is, and he pivots and just kind of hems and haws about nothing. And so the debate moderator asks him a second time. And honestly, of everything that happened in the entire debate, this was the moment that had me roaring with laughter. I got to play this. Oh, hold on. I clicked the wrong one. Oh, I suck. All right, let's try again.
Something. I would only change it if we come up with something that's better and less expensive. And there are concepts and options we have to do that. And you'll be hearing about it in the not too distant future.
Trump, this is now your third.
Okay, so right there, what he just did, I mean, I was howling when he said, he's like, I've got concepts of a plan. It's like, he sounds like a 6-year-old kid in class. And the teacher's like, did you read the Brave Little Engine? And Trump's like, yeah, I read it. And she's like,
I read the Cliff Notes, or I read the back.
I read the cover.
I read the summary.
I
read the index.
I mean, it's been 9 years, and he's been saying for 9 years, any day now, guys, I'm going to give you my amazing healthcare plan. 9 years. And I don't understand how he had Tulsi Gabbard as his debate prep, and they did not prep to receive any questions about policy. Is this real?
She's trash. She is absolute fucking trash. She is trashier than trash. She's
fired after tonight, that's for sure. No more debate.
A pooping pile of shit.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know. I watched this debate, and I watched it was almost sad, because it's just like she just kept tricking him, like tying his shoelaces together over and over and over, and he just couldn't figure it out, which is amazing, because this is literally what he did to Biden a few months ago.
She goes, here and eat your lunch. That is what Bernie says. And I'm like, yo, okay, another time she's trying to be like Bernie, because I've heard Bernie say that about Trump numerous times. She is not someone who would be like, eat your lunch. Come on. That's something old people say. She's such an ass. Oh my God.
Okay. Now I got to tell you, this is one of my favorite, funniest things that came out of this debate. Unless there's anything else you want to like go into the substance of the debate, I want to talk about the after debate.
Oh, what happened?
Okay. So, okay, I am a former Bernie person, and sadly, we all believed in this enormous movement, so we all friended each other, and we all have thousands of Bernie friends now. Well, one of my thousands of Bernie friends, not one of, I'm talking like a bunch, because plenty of conspiracy nuts in the Bernie crew. Let's just be honest, it happens. But I've been seeing multiple of these people going around now pushing the most insane conspiracy theories, including this one, that Kamala Harris was wearing special audio earrings that have headphones embedded inside the earrings. And that's how she won the debate. Like, I'm not even kidding. And I'm like, this
people are saying that? Because I saw Trump people saying that.
No, I'm talking about Trump people who used to be Bernie people and went.
Oh, gotcha.
And
the thing about that though is, it's like, even if it were like, I think that would be a hindrance, because I can't fucking listen to someone while I'm talking. I can't fucking do that. So like, to me, it's just preparation.
Well, and the point that I made is, I said, what was it, that like Kamala, clearly it was this magical earring that won the debate for Kamala and forced Trump to say that immigrants eat dogs, and that Kamala's forcing asylum seekers to get trans surgery at the border, and that doctors are executing live babies. The magic earring did all that. It's like, come on, guys. Kamala did like a mediocre performance. Trump just like did a head dive into a pit of vipers. I mean, that's on him. He lost that debate, and that's just how it is.
Well, the one, I suffered through, watching pre-debate and post-debate as well. And what was interesting is there was not one word said about the protests outside. Go figure.
Yeah. Well, of course. Well, I feel like they barely even mentioned, beyond like a single sentence, why there's no one in the hall, why the people have been completely removed from their own debate ritual. Like this is a part of our American ritual. We have presidential debates, and now instead of having these like federally sanctioned and then like volunteer led debates that are about America coming together and really hashing out our values, now it is a private couple of corporations doing like private like CNN, ABC. Now they want to do a Fox News one. It's like, this is bullshit. By making it private, by taking it out of the hands of the people and making it a commodity that can be sold like a football game, these people are cutting people out. I don't know if you've noticed this. There's a ton, and there used to be at least, a ton of these streamers that would watch the debate live and they would be commenting on it live. But the problem is a bunch of them can no longer air the clips or even the live feed from the debate, because now these are private debates. Now these are corporate-owned debates, and they can get sued. They can get a strike against them because, oh no, they're showing the debate and they're commenting on it. Like back in the day, everyone was allowed to do that because this was your right. It was all public, like material on the public airwaves, and now it's locked down. It's very disturbing.
So you're saying that they're going to do a second debate? Because everyone last night on the pre-show and post-show was saying that they do not have a second one scheduled.
Well, they don't, but this is the funny thing, and this is where it's actually kind of humorous. Kamala, after the debate, said, "Oh, we're definitely ready for the next debate." And Trump, after last night's debate, was like, "I don't think we need to do another debate because we won. You know, I think the only reason she wants to do another debate is because she knows how badly she lost." And somebody pointed out this tweet from a Republican senator that I forget which senator, but he said something along the lines of, "If you want to know who won the debate, see who wants to do a second debate and see who refuses." And of course, I mean, he was right, but I don't think he hoped for it to turn out the way that it did.
Do you remember in 2016 when Bernie challenged Trump to a debate? He agreed, and then Bernie asked him again, and he then walked it back.
What a chicken shit. Yes, I'll never forget Bernie.
I was like, oh my God, I want to fucking see that so bad, because Bernie was the one person Trump never talked shit to. It was so fucking funny. Like, and he agreed, and then he walked it back, and he's like, no, I don't feel the need.
I mean, it's such a chicken shit move for Trump. And honestly, like, this is why I was so angry. I mean, of course, I was angry because they stole the damn democracy from us and didn't let us have Bernie. But the thing that really upset me was the fact that, like, they can do that. I don't know. I'm getting all flustered. Damn it.
Well, we do have other stuff to talk about, but, you know, one of the other things is, you know, Kamala is, you know, she very well could have used last night to talk about the American activist who was just unalived by Israel.
Not even mentioned in the whole debate.
No, nothing. And I'm so fucking sick of people saying 40,000. There has not been 40,000. There has been over 200,000. And that is probably even a low estimate. They stopped recording the numbers in, I think it was February. Yeah. And they're still using that fucking number to try and minimize.
They're not just using the number. They're also minimizing the number they're using by every time they quote the number that is the incorrect number, saying, oh, but it's the Hamas-led health ministry, so can you even trust this number? Really?
Right. But it's like you're using the same number for the past 7 months while also saying more people have been unalived. And,
another 100 people killed today.
So how does that even work?
Well, I'll tell you, the thing that I think a lot of folks just don't realize is, for a lot of people, they think this started October 7th, but it didn't. And there have been basically 17 years in Gaza, now going on 18 because this war has been going on for a whole year now. 18 years an entire blockade on this civilization, denying them everything from like machinery, like bulldozers or things that they could, like cranes, the things that they would need, like in a moment now where they have entire buildings collapsed filled with people and they have to get to those people. The reason the number's so low is because they can't get to these people because they don't have the machinery to lift some of these pieces of debris. They don't have the ability to get to where these bodies are buried.
Yeah, I've read so many articles and watched so many journalists who have been in Gaza say that there are literally thousands who cannot be reached.
Yeah.
And
just
I mean,
because they have no other option.
Yeah. It's disgusting. What was your other topic?
Well, it was about both the disgustingness of Israel and its insane use of like crazy weaponry. Excuse me. So there was a few days ago a refugee center, just a bunch of tents on a big patch of dirt. I swear to you. And this was in the Al-Masi Khan Yunis it was in a designated safe zone. So Israel told them this is a safe zone. They dropped a 2,000-pound American MK bomb that left a crater that is 10 meters deep. And I saw a video of this. I mean, it looks like a crater on the moon where there were once 100+ people sleeping, of which I think 40+ are dead, another 80 injured. I'm not going to describe what I saw from the videos of the aftermath, but just the crater, though, is the one that I really wish people could see this. It's 10 meters deep. This thing is like you could put a giant ship in this crater, like a naval ship. And this was just people sleeping in tents. Like, what the fuck are we doing? This is like plastic and cloth and sticks holding it up. Like, this is some of the most insane stuff I've ever seen. And what I wanted to talk about is how there is currently a growing shift away from providing these weapons to Israel. So
except in our fucking country.
Yeah, except for our fucking genocide-drenched country. But Canada today, thank you, Trudeau, for finally doing something and making some statement. But today, they changed out something like 30 different weapons. They said they were no longer going to send 30 different types of weapons or shipments. And then they also said they will no longer be producing a particular ammunition that they were sending to America that we were then sending to Israel. So they're not just cutting off Israel; they're cutting us off too. So
it's
that we don't solve that, huh?
It's not enough.
It's not enough, but it's.
I don't God I'd still protest his annoying ass. I don't care. Like this fucking breadcrumb shit. I don't give a fuck. Any country who doesn't come out and explicitly say we cut off all weaponry, they can go fuck themselves.
It's pretty incredible though, just seeing, like I said, in the last month we've had so many nations making statements. And UK last week, we talked about it, they pulled a bunch of weapons. Again, only like 10% of the amount of weapons they were sending.
Yeah, it was 30 out of over 300.
Yeah, but by doing it, they're still making a statement, which is, hey, you guys are doing something wrong. And by saying that, it gives everybody else the ability to be like, oh, so it's not just them defending themselves.
I see it differently. I see it as they're trying to pacify people.
True.
Here, I'm going to give you something. Now shut the fuck up.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, Bibi, I'm still on your side. See, I'm only giving them a breadcrumb. And then the breadcrumb people are like, oh, cool. This is awesome. Like, no, it's all or nothing. Go fuck yourselves. There's still, you could say, I'm going to stop giving 30 of these, but there's still over 300 going. Well, that's still over 300 lives.
It's true. Yeah. And I also wanted to bring up in this topic Australian broadcasting channel over in Australia, obviously. They have run an entire report on all of the evidence that's been gathered by Haaretz and a few other various Israeli news organizations, laying out the case for the Hannibal Directive being ordered. They have evidence of it. Like they have
yeah.
And they laid it all out. And I mean, I was looking after I read that article, I decided to go back and look at the footage of the cars from the music festival, the Nova Music Festival. And what's crazy is like they immediately, like maybe something like a week and a half after it happened, they went and they had all of them destroyed, like crunched into cubes before anybody could like keep them for evidence to investigate them. But if you looked at the cars that were taken pictures of with a drone before they were all taken away, they were all blown to pieces. Missiles dropped through their roofs, all of them. And these cars, most of them were from the people at the music festival. And so what it looks like was happening is they didn't know which cars had Hamas, which cars had civilians, and which cars had Hamas with civilian hostages. And over the radio comes the order, kill them all. And they did. I mean, or that's the thing. We don't know what was done after that, after they were given this upper command order to do this. But what we do know, after this order was given, 26 attack helicopters all had to come back to base to refill their weaponry because they were tapped entirely. 26 Apache attack helicopters. So, and so what I'm saying is like, it's finally happening. Like people are starting to piece together what we've been saying since the beginning, that this dude, like he was willing to martyr some of his own people. Like back in the beginning, I thought it was like, oh, it was when he like sent some tanks to blow up some of the houses that had Hamas and hostages in it. You know, he definitely killed those people. That's just is what it is. I didn't find out about the honestly, the bombing of all the cars until months later. And again, looking at those photos again, it was such an insane thing, thinking about the fact that there was behind the controls of 26 helicopters, Israeli citizens knowingly dropping Hellfire missiles into the vehicles of their fellow citizens.
Yeah.
Like it's otherworldly.
Yeah.
Like, because I always told myself, you know, hey, something like that could never happen here because I believe that we wouldn't fire on our own citizens. But then you see this happen and you're like, God, I just don't know anymore. You know?
Oh, I definitely believe we would.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, Kent State is a grand example.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I just wanted to share that because I just couldn't believe that I'm finally seeing like other media organizations outside of like 3 or 4 really good ones in Israel that's like pushing the truth, finally put it all together and was like, here's the case. And it's like, damn.
You know, the thing is, even shit rags like New York Times and WAPO will come out every so often and publish, like they published the video of the essay that just came out. And I was like, holy shit, like even shit rags come out now and then. It doesn't mean anything. And all it does, honestly, to people like myself who are just so fucking enraged and don't consider anything enough, all it does is piss me off more because it's just more information that's going to be ignored by the general public. Yeah. Like this is happening at the worst fucking time because it's election time and it's being politicized and it's being used to completely just disregard the importance of what's going on and the magnitude because it's so much more, you know, focused on electoral politics than the fact that these are human lives. And this timing is so fucking awful and it is just changing the trajectory of everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just hoping, and this is my hope, my hopium here, but I really am hoping that even though, again, UK, Canada, they're not doing enough. They're not even doing the bare minimum that they could. I still hope that these are like dominoes falling, and each time there's even a little give to say, hey, things are wrong. It's giving people the permission to go back and relook at what they saw before. Because before they were told this is Israel defending itself against terrorism, and they walked away. They said, okay, I accept that. Well, now if numerous ally countries are saying we're not giving you these weapons, that gives people the permission to go and question what they were previously told. Because
but
why
it's
would their
already
government?
been 11 months of massacre.
I
So
know.
with this incrementalist approach, how much longer? Because they are going to cease to exist.
I know. I was thinking about that during the debate. Like, Kamala, like these people may all be dead by the time you're even president, and you can't even manage to like spare like more than a couple sentences. You know, mostly she just ragged on about how Israel had the worst thing ever happen, and it's like, dude, have you seen the satellite photos of Rafah? Like, it's rubble. It's all gone. Like, this is just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I did want to talk about it one other topic before we end. Those of you who watch my show know that I have been very involved with the East Palestine, Ohio train derailment. I've been there 4 times now. And I've become very close, what I consider to be family. They consider me family, with many of the residents who I talk to pretty much on a daily basis. And one of the things that happened today is pretty major, and that is that CEO of Norfolk Southern, Alan Shaw, was fired. And he has been with the company over 30 years. He became the CEO, interestingly enough, a few months before the derailment. Now, why they fired him is, now when you look at the fucking articles, it's so frustrating because they all say he was terminated because he had a consensual relationship with a colleague. And they always write consensual. Here's the issue. Yeah, it was consensual, and she was fired too. But who was it that he had the affair with? It was their lead legal counsel, their lead fucking lawyer, the one who is trying to take on the people in the fucking class action. Okay? He was banging her. Okay, and this was suspected I've heard this from residents for months. And so they fired them both. Now, here's the thing. He was not fired for poisoning people, for literally giving them cancer.
Wait. I'm sorry. I just put together what you just told me, and I can't believe it. You're telling me he wasn't fired because he intentionally lit off a chemical bomb that has poisoned these people and has shortened their lives dramatically. He was fired because he was banging his subordinates?
Yes, correct.
Oh my God.
So to me, that is, hey, we are looking to get rid of this guy who is the hugest fucking, liability, because, there's tons of lawsuits involving him, things like that. And they somehow think, hey, if we get rid of him, is it a conflict of interest to be the CEO and bang the fucking lead lawyer of your company? Absolutely. But they don't care about actually killing people, but they suddenly have morals about this. No, they wanted him gone because they were trying to do every fucking thing in the world to try and save their asses. So, yeah, thankfully, some of the toxicity is finally out of East Palestine, but it's for all the wrong reasons.
Well, then I would like to nominate for this week's Grand Marshal of the Capitalist Death Parade the CEO of Norfolk Southern's penis, because it was leading him as he led this week's Capitalist Death Parade off the cliff.
Yep. Alan Shaw, go fuck yourself.
He just walked dick first off the cliff. I'm amazed. Thank you for that update.
I just hope that, the residents I've spoken with, they've been, they're happy he's gone, but they're fucking frustrated that it's been a year and a half and it didn't happen out of any even somewhat of a semblance of justice for them. It's just, I guess we can be glad, but it's not like they're just going to appoint some other twat waffle. Actually, they already did. And anyone that works at Norfolk Southern is trash anyway. So it's not like, you're replacing the trash. Yeah, it's not going to be the guy who was in charge during this derailment. But, I guess we'll take what we can get at this point. But yeah, he's gone. Go fuck yourself, Alan Shaw.
Straight off that cliff, bro. Straight off.
Straight fucking off. Down with that fucking toxicity.
Well, I think that that just about wraps another week of the Capitalist Death Parade. Do you have anything else you want to mention before we roll?
Tomorrow night I will be going to, which this will probably be airing the same night, but I'll be going to a city council with my Palestinian comrades and supporters, and we will be going to a city council meeting where we are going to be presenting them with our demands. So that is happening. I have some other local things going on with the Palestinian group I'm in. We're doing an art auction to help people in Palestine, and a 5K, and we have tons of stuff coming up to try to help with mutual aid. I also have an incredible guest coming on who is an Indigenous gentleman, and he will be coming on to talk about MMIW, which is Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. Incredibly important topic, not a lot of people talk about. And I have other guests lined up as well. So smash the like and hit subscribe. Josh, how about yourself?
I just wanted to say that I'm also doing some good mutual aid work. Me and my Hawthorne Park potluck crew, we're in the midst of trying to set up a bit of a fundraiser. But in the meanwhile, if anybody wants to throw some support our way, you can go to facebook.com, find us. We're the Hawthorne Park Potluck, and we're providing free meals to tens of thousands of our hungry neighbors every year. So all the support is always appreciated. And other than that, I'm really, really excited to see you next week because this was a blast. Thank you, Joy.
Absolutely. Thank you, comrade. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Much love.
This is the Capitalist Death Parade. We'll see you next time.
Much love.
Bye.
All right. Oops.
You're still recording.
Yeah, I am. I'm leaving.